Good evening, everyone. This is Dana from NexGen, and I hope everyone has had a wonderful week. This evening on Me Inc., I'd like to discuss streams of income. Now, I'll start out by talking about a couple of categories, the main categories that we put them in, and then just give you an example of some streams of income. And then in subsequent weeks, we'll just go ahead and do a deep dive into each one of them. Okay, so the first type of income is what we call active income. Now, the IRS has three, but we're only going to discuss two today. But the first one is active income, and this is where you're going to actually participate in the business, or this is whether you have a job or you're self-employed. This is where you're materially participating in the business. So that's an example of active income. The opposite is passive income. And passive income is where you would get income where you're not even participating in the activity. The IRS also talks about portfolio income, and portfolio income is a type of passive income. So you'll have active, where you're materially participating, and then you'll have passive income, which you're not going to be involved and you're still going to be getting the income. And when we talk about the different types or the different streams, then you'll see which category they could go in. And sometimes they could be in both. Okay, the first one is earned income. And this is usually the foundation for a lot of the income that we receive. And this is based on an hourly rate, a biweekly, or the first and the 15th. This is income that you earn whether you're employed or whether you're self-employed. Another type of income is in addition to your earned income, and that is business income. Now, this is, you can have more than one business, and a lot of times people will call it a side hustle or a side business or that types of things. So, this is in addition to your main income. Then we have what you call interest income. And this is interest that you would receive. For example, if you put money in a bank, so your checking and your savings, they receive a small amount of interest, but they do get interest income. Then you have money market, your certificates of deposits, you receive income from that as well if you meet the criteria. Then we have what we call savings bonds or treasury bills. So this is income you're receiving because the institution is lending your money out to other people. So this is interest income. And as you can see, this would be an example of passive. You're not doing anything other than supplying the money. Now, the sister to that is what we call dividend income. So let's say that you have a share of stock and the company it has a surplus. They have money above what they need. So what they're going to do is they're going to give a portion of that money back to the shareholders in the form of what we call dividends. So they can pay the dividends monthly, quarterly, or even annually. This is also an example of passive income. The next one we have is rental income. Now, a lot of times when people think of rental income, they think of renting a house or renting an apartment, but you can rent out so many things, and I talked about it in a previous video. You can rent land for farming. You can rent equipment, baby equipment for people that are traveling. You can rent a room in your house, let's say. You could even rent office space. There's a lot of things that you can generate rental income from. Another stream of income, and this is one of my favorites, is capital gains. So you can get capital gains, for example, if you purchased a house, let's say for $100,000, and you went and did some renovations. May say you didn't, but let's say you turned around and sold it for $250,000. The difference between the 250 and the 100,000 plus expenses is what we would consider capital gain. Now, you can get capital gain if you sell a stock or a business or maybe some artwork. So those are examples of what we call capital gain. You could also have a capital loss too, but for this video, we're going to talk about capital gains where you can receive income. And the last one I'd like to introduce is what we call royalties or licensing. Now, as I said in a previous video, my friend wrote a book. So when that book, she did the active part of writing the book. So when people purchase her book, she's going to be receiving a royalty from the sales of those books. And you can get royalties from different things. You can get them from a copyright, a trademark. Let's say that you did something unique, like a song or something. So every time they play that song, they're paying you a royalty. So there's different ways that you can get a royalty or a licensing income from something that you've done in the past. Well, I hope this information was beneficial. This is the introduction to our stream of income. Some of them you may recognize, some of them you may not know about. But the good news is we're going to be talking about the different streams of income in subsequent videos, in subsequent weeks. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we don't want you to miss any more wonderful videos. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.